All right, we are so back. Make sure this is live. Yep, we're good. All right, let me get the shareable link. Drop that in the server. Alrighty, that should be good. Now I've actually got the background music today too. Cool. Alright. And here comes everybody. Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be working on choosing some Craft My Life voice lines, which have already been recorded. I just have to go through and sort through a bunch of takes and then choose which ones I want in my show, and then edit those together into the master edit, and then put that into the blend file and set all that up. So just a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that people don't normally record or film, because it's usually people usually don't want you seeing this step of the process because it's a little spoilery, but I think it's really good for education. Hello everyone. Glad y'all could make it out to the stream today. So the character that I'm working on right now is one that is a very depressed cafeteria worker, and his lines are all very, very deep and depressed, and very what do you call that? I guess a foil character to Alex, who's very energetic and whatnot. So we'll see what happens when she meets him.
What can I get for you? 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 Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning?
Ooh, that one sounds properly moody. Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? What was my hotkey? B? That's what it was. Alright.
Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning?
That one's pretty good too. But, whoopsies. I think I'm going to take that first one here. Slide that. Oh, I have... You tell me some projects that were on Squared Media's mind but got shelved instead. Well, for me, I can only really speak to myself, but The Last Sniffer was the one that I still have that idea, like the story and all that written, but I shelved that in favor of working on Craft My Life, just because I think that Craft My Life's going to be more beneficial to the channel, and that's more of what people want, is like the more voice-acted stuff. So, I mean, I think about what I want on the channel, and I go, I want more voice-acted content rather than Sniffer. As awesome as I think that my Sniffer idea was, I think that Craft My Life just takes priority, but it's definitely one that I'm proud of. Kind of similar in structure. Not similar in narrative, but similar in structure to King Dirt, and that animation still continues to perform pretty well. So it would be like a 14-minute animation, but I'd rather spend that time working on Craft My Life stuff.
I'm trying not to actually go Squidward. Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning?
Yeah, you guys get to hear some of the behind the scenes of voice acting stuff. It's always really fun.
Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning?
Ooh, yeah, now we're sounding really Squidward.
Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? What can I get for you? Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? Can I interest any of you in a... What can I get for you? Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning?
I just like this one a little bit better. Sometimes when you're going through stuff, doing edits, You just kind of got to make a decision. Maybe one line doesn't sound necessarily better than the other, but you just take your best guess. That's all you can do.
Can I interest any? One coffee and one bagel.
that one there sounds so real. Man, this guy, Drac. So, Drake Goldstein is a character that we named after Drac Gamestein, who is a Final Fantasy player. He's a fairly large streamer. Got like, last time I checked, it was like 70,000 subs or something on YouTube, but very consistent audience. And he's someone that Mark, my creative lead, and also very long-time friend of 9 years, does the raids with, the in-game content with. And he's like, dude, Drac has like the perfect deep voice for a depressed cafeteria worker. So we just cast him because he has a good mic, and now we just made him be all depressed for us.
What can I get for you? Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning? One coffee and one bagel coming right up. One coffee and one bagel coming right up.
I do like the energy behind that second one better.
One coffee and one bagel coming right up. One coffee and one bagel coming right up. Coming right up.
I don't like how gravelly that one is, but I like the beginning better because it's a little more energetic.
One coffee and one bagel coming
like,
right up.
Alright, one coffee, one bagel coming right up.
One coffee and one bagel coming right up.
Actually, I probably like that one the best. Boom, boom, boom.
One coffee, one bagel, right up. One coffee and one bagel coming right up. One coffee and...
Alright, I think we've got our line with that one.
One coffee and one bagel coming right up.
Ooh, that's also really good.
One coffee and one bagel coming right up. One coffee and one bagel coming right up.
This one sounds a little bit friendlier, I think. Like, he's depressed, but he's not inherently just like, I hate being around these people. This is just more of like a I hate my job versus I hate the people that I'm serving. So, I don't know, just a me thing. Again, this is a case where I think that either of these lines would have been fine, and it comes down to the preference of the director when you're going through and you're doing voice editing. So that's just the one I'm going to choose because I think it sounds just a tiny bit brighter, but there was really no right answer there. I like that one. Sounds like a genuine sigh. So if I, let me see if I can separate out the, oh wait, I can't, so I have my stream on, or I have this tab, oh, whoopsies, on display capture, so like you can see everything on the screen. The problem is I don't want to expose the link or the script, and I also don't want to show you guys more than I have to. So while I was gonna pull up the script on the side here and let you guys see that as I'm going through this, I don't think that it would probably be the best idea, unfortunately. But oh well, we'll work with what we're working with. Okay, let's see here. Are you hearing Skyrim music in the background? Yes, you are. This time I did not come unprepared. Last stream I said I was gonna get some Epidemic sound going in the background, and then I realized that Skyrim ambient music is like amazing work music, so I'm just working to that right now. There's two benefits, right? One, it's copyright free since it's Skyrim, and number two, it doesn't like conflict with any of the voice work that I'm doing. So whenever I'm trying to time voices and whatnot, if I just have ambient Skyrim in the background, it's not distracting me. So that's pretty helpful. And I also get some background noise. I just like that rather than a just changing it up. That one's also good. Actually, I like that one. That totally sounds like something that my parents would have, like that. Almost like they're wheezing a little bit. Imagine you're a voice actor. See, and this is what I love about doing voice acting stuff, is that sometimes you just have to, when you're in call, you just tell someone to do something like make a funny noise, make like a sigh noise, and then they have to go, for 30 seconds, and you have to keep a straight face and stay in the mood. One of my favorite ones is when I was working with Caleb Hiles, and it was all the screams. So you'd have ones that were like, ah, ah, and then you'd have ones that were like, ah. So there's, well, you'll hear that later on in episode 1. I do have one of those very over-the-top screams included in the cut lines, but we'll get there when we get there. I will definitely show that in stream, so.
That'll be 5 emeralds.
That's actually, I think, in the scene immediately after this one.
That'll be 5. That'll be 5 emeralds. That'll be 5 emeralds. That'll be 5 emeralds. That'll be 5 emeralds.
That one's fine.
That'll be 5 emeralds.
Oopsies, didn't want to touch that. This one's a little more Squidward. That'll be 5 emeralds.
That'll be 5 emeralds.
It's incredible how close his voice can actually sound to Squidward sometimes.
That'll be 5 emeralds. Do you want it that pace or a little bit slower?
And then you can hear sometimes the feedback.
Okay. That'll be 5 emeralds.
So that one's also fine. I'll steal that.
That'll be 5 emeralds. That'll be 5 emeralds.
Itchy nose. I wonder if... Because this one's a little bit more...
That'll be 5 emeralds. That'll be 5 emeralds.
Yeah, I like the whole depressed but still doing his job and putting in a little bit of effort to sound lively. So, I think that's the line that I'm going to go with out of all these.
10. How about 8? 10. How about 8? That'll be 5 emeralds. 10.
This is where Matt steps in and he starts negotiating how many emeralds that this guy needs to give him in order to be able to give him the hint about Mr. Becker. So they know that he has where Mr. Becker is, but he's not willing to give up this information for free. So Matt's like, how about I give you 10, or how about I give you 6 emeralds, I think it is, and you give us the hint about Mr. Becker's whereabouts, and then he hits back with 10.
10.
So he is doubling Matt on the price of this bagel and coffee that he's about to cover for Alex for giving up this hint. So a little bit of bribery going on here.
All right, deal. He's in the one place no student ever wants to be. 10. 10. 10. 10. How about 10? 10.
I like that one. That's very just cut and dry. 10.
10. 10. 10.
10.
10.
10. Like I was saying before, voice actors, it's hilarious sitting in call because they'll just be saying one thing over and over and over, especially if it's one line. Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, really? And that's, you do that for like an hour or two in call, and you're going through I mean, Craft My Life, the entire script, I think, is a little over 1,100 lines. So we've had to do that for many, many, many hours with many voice actors.
10. How about 8? 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 How about 8?
I like the thing that I'm looking for in this one is enunciation. So another thing I gotta consider is, I mean, I do this too all the time, and I'm very bad at enunciating certain things. But in the number 8, we typically say 8, you know, like 8, like ATE, but we don't emphasize that T at the very end, EIGHT, 8. So the one take that has 8.
8.
8.
How about 8?
That one also has it.
How about 8?
That one
8.
emphasizes it a little bit too much. This one doesn't have it at all.
How about 8?
How about 8?
How about 8?
How about 8? And that's, I know, just obsessing over the little details, but stuff that you have to also be thinking about when you're thinking about how your character does stuff. For a more depressed adult character, I think that enunciating that T, and also just for general audience understanding the T, I sound like such a nerd right now, guys. Emphasizing that T is important, so I'm going to bring that take over here.
How about 8?
And I like that faster delivery too, because he's not totally bummed out of the conversation. He's just kind of doing his thing. Sees an opportunity to get some money, so he's taking a little bit more interest, as I would too.
10.
As soon as money's on the table. Gotta make some profits. Gotta
How
scam
about-
some children. He's literally scamming children, if you think about it. He's making them pay them money to do their class assignment. So Drake Goldstein is scamming little children.
How about 8? How about 8? How about 8?
How about 8?
How about
Ow.
8?
How about 8?
Hmm. 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 All right, deal. All right, deal. All right, deal.
That one sounds really genuine, actually. I think that's an immediate winner. Sometimes you just have lines that you listen to and you're like, man, this one's really, really solid. I'm just gonna take that and not even look at any of the other ones because it sounds really good.
All right, deal.
All right, deal.
All right, deal. All right, deal. All right, deal. All right. All right, deal. All right, deal. All right, deal. About. All right, deal. All right, all right, deal. All right, deal.
We can just boop, cut through all those.
He's in the one place no student ever wants to be. He's in the one place no student ever wants to be. He's in the one place no student ever wants to be.
What is the one place that no student ever wants to be, chat? Oh, Insifet. You just tune into him going Herm over and over again. I can do it some more for you.
All right. How about 8? 1 coffee and 1 bagel.
The principal's office. He got it right away. That was the solution to the riddle. Good job, guys. You're smarter than a 5th grader. Yeah, this target audience for Craft My Life is definitely a tiny bit younger than probably the audience watching this stream. However, it is also a slice of life, sort of. I'd sell it as a slice of life right like off the top of my head, because that's essentially what's going on. However, there is some deeper stuff going on in Craft My Life. There's some deeper themes, some adventure plots, some underlying morality stuff going on with the lore and the server, but no spoilerinos just yet.
Alright, deal. He's in the one place no student ever wants to be.
Good. That line sounds absolutely fine. I'm not even going to waste my time. Well, it wouldn't be a waste of time looking at all the other ones, but I'm happy with that one, so why not?
Yeah. No. Throws mac and cheese at him. Clean that up. Next. 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 Next.
What? Next? Okay, I think that's the end. Do we have him come back? I need to check the name of this. Episode 1 and 2. I need to find this in the script. Boom, 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 boom. We're hotkeying the word next. Episode... Oh, this is episode 7. Alright, and this one, an episode all the way in episode 7. Every single show that has anything to do with kids going to school has to have a food fight, so this is the obligatory food fight skit. I think that Feather wrote this one, if I'm remembering correct. Yeah, I think Feather wrote this one. So we have Mr. Drake Goldstein have another appearance much later in the show. And this is what this second round of lines are. However, we don't quite need those just yet. For the episode that we're working with, we just need these lines here. So I'm just gonna mark out. Going to Drake lines Ep 1. Location. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. New folder. Character lines. New folder. Save. 32. Our PCM. And for some odd reason, I haven't taken the time to figure this out, nor do I care. I can't actually render this out without having like a random text in there. So I'm just going to slap a little text file and then go back to render. I know it's probably like one setting that I'm missing or whatever, but I don't care. Oh wait, did I not name it? Oh no, I didn't save the DaVinci file. Save as... Where's the save as? Save project as. Break lines, save, and then I need to go to recent project, CML voices. Then I need to not CML voices. It is Craft My Life Ep 1. There we go. I'm in the wrong tab. As you can see, this is what assembly looks like for voice lines in the editor. Just a lot of staggering. Pretty typical video editing stuff. So that is not what I want. I want import media. Go over here. My libraries, Craft My Life, pipeline, character lines, Drake. Okay. I don't care that it's .mov. It's because I have that turned on. I just simply unlink the clips. I just did this like a minute ago. Not in clip attributes, is it? It should be like separate clips. Conform lock, I think that's what it is. There we go. Whoop. I want to turn that on so it doesn't kill everything. There we go. Alright, now I can chop this up. We don't want to do that.
Up.
super base
One
boosted
coffee and
cafeteria
one
worker.
bagel.
1 coffee, 1 bagel.
1 coffee and 1 bagel.
Although we might want to... Nah, I want to make sure it's balanced with everything else. Looks pretty fine. I can always do adjustments later. This isn't actually the final files that we're using for the voices themselves. Mark will have to go over and do some post to them. So this is more so just placeholder.
Where he is. He left a riddle that suggested
What can I
you'd
get?
have...
Okay, we're still in Mrs. Becker.
He's in the whatever
Okay,
wants
got it.
to be.
Thanks, Mrs. Becker. You folks. All right.
Alright, so that's that. Boom. And now, you guys get to see this all come together. I'll do him down on here. No one's on... Okay, Mr. Becker's on that line. I can do that.
The last hint was with another teacher.
And there's only one person on staff here in the cafeteria.
What can I get for you?
Oh, can I get a bagel with cream cheese?
What, Alex?
I need to move... I don't remember what the... Was it Alt and then like a click of some kind to select everything in one direction? We're gonna just do this the bootleg way and just... And drag it all over a little bit.
What can I get for you? For you.
Alright, now I moved it over too much. You guys get to hear a Carl G. Brooks huzzah!
Huzzah! You've solved my riddle!
He's great. He's so fun to work with.
What can I get for you? What can I get for you?
Oh, can I get...
You.
Oh, can I get a bagel with cream cheese?
What, Alex? We're looking for Mr. Becker. Do you have any idea where he might be?
Can I interest any of you in a
Actually,
coffee
as a
this
matter
morning?
of fact, you could.
He just totally blows them off. And then at this point, we're going to move all of this over. Just a little bit.
Have any idea where he might be?
Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning?
Actually, as a matter of fact, you could. Don't worry, guys. This one's on me. How about I give you
1 coffee and bagel coming right up.
this one's on me?
1 coffee and 1 bagel coming right up.
How about I give you 6 emeralds and you give us the hint about Mr. Becker's whereabouts? Oh, come on. I'm trying to help you out here. I know Mr. Becker didn't...
5
You're already getting a
emeralds.
bone this
That'll
morning.
be bagel coming right up.
Just doing a little bit of video editing magic here. Nothing crazy. Enjoy the Skyrim ambience.
That'll be 5 emeralds. 1 bagel coming right up. That'll be 5 emeralds.
How about I give you 6 emeralds, and you give us the hint about Mr. Becker's whereabouts?
10. How about 8?
Becker's whereabouts?
10.
Oh, come on. I'm trying to help you out here. I know Mr. Becker didn't offer you
How about
anything to help
8?
with his activity this morning. You're already getting a
All right.
bonus. Here, I'll tell you what. I'll give you 7, but that's as far as I'll go. We can shake and make it happen.
How about 8?
7. Come on. We get the hint, and you get a 40% tip. Dude, it's a win-win.
All right, deal. He's in the one place no student ever wants to be.
Oh, come on! That's not even a riddle.
Maybe not, but I have 2 guesses. Either detention or...
The principal's office.
But what if he's not in the principal's office?
Then we'll look somewhere else. Come on.
Huzzah! You've solved my riddle!
Ah, yes! I knew it!
Congratulations, you 4. No homework for you tonight.
But what are we being graded on today, then?
Completion, of course. You either found me and got 100, or didn't and got a 0.
That's pretty extreme.
I don't think so. I thought I'd keep it simple and fun for your first assignment back after winter break. I even showed up early to get it all set up. So, where are your classmates? Not far behind, I assume. All of you, back to class!
All right, end of skit 1. 9 minutes. You're at the 9-minute marker at the end of skit 1.
The cafeteria! Okay, got it. Thanks, Mrs. Becker!
Oh, right, yeah, you guys. I wasn't streaming for that part of the library.
The cafeteria!
The cafeteria!
All right!
Mark in. Then marked out. And then slap that random text bubble in, as I have to do. Then I go to here, near PCM, 32-bit depth, file name. Then browse. Make sure we're being organized with our file paths. Very important in a large production. That way you can find everything and not be lazy and sloppy like I used to be. Character lines. I'll save it to that. Boom. Okay. Add to render queue. Render. Blender render. We file, save project. I should just be using whatever. I'll save it as a copy. I should be using hotkeys for that, but I'm not. That's okay. You live your life how you want to live it. Video editing. This is not scene 2. This is scene 4. Is this one shift? Is it control? Wait. Am I stupid? Oh, duh. It's control and then slide rather than alt and scroll for Blender. Okie dokie. So now we add the movie. Then I go to. Do I have? Don't have. How does it want me to get there from Blender? Hold on. I might just have to save this to a different location as well, just to make it easier for myself. Alright, C drive. Libraries, craft my life. Pipeline, character lines. Aw. Did it not fully finish?
All right! Which one of you...
Nope. Worked. Okay. I will paste it over here. Okie dokie. Now I should be able to find it very easy. Yippee! And then I believe the hotkey is K for sep. Oh, nope, that's the cut one. For this, I think I just have to disconnect strips. Yeah. Alright, now we have all the voices and stuff that we need in Blender.
All right! Which one of you folks has the hint about Mr. Becker?
We wouldn't be
Is my internet being annoying right now? I'm seeing that there's some issues with the stream, apparently. Is it okay now? Sometimes my internet will do goofy things. This home Wi-Fi is not perfect. Let me check. Chat, tell me if the stream's working or not. I'm getting a big yellow error. So it says people are experiencing buffering. I don't know if that's thing I can really do much. Check my Wi-Fi. I'm on the right Wi-Fi. Oh well. I do not know. Went back to normal. You're dropping frames probably when you're loading stuff. Okay, so the stream itself is fine though. Just trying to diagnose. I'm gonna read through the chat for a little bit since I've been ignoring you guys for the last however long I've been live. Okay. Does Carl play Mr. Becker? Yes, he does. Why not many followers? Because you guys are the first people to witness Craft My Life. There will be more in the future, and you guys will be very, very happy that you got the small community experience. Oh, Tank! $10. Thank you so much. Zaxby's, you even know what I like. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I will actually be in Raleigh very, very soon, I think. So I will put that to use on a big Zax snack. Let me show you. All right. I got to go on a little detour here for a sec. Show you guys what I really like from Zaxby's. The Big Zax snack. So the nice thing about the Big Zax snack, right, is it has everything that a man could want. It has your protein in the form of fried chicken tenders, so perfect for an American like me. You have the fries, and the fries are always very consistent. As you see, I suddenly got a lot more passionate. It's because I'm a very big Zaxby's fan. Then you have the Zax sauce here. Now, Zaxby's does it a little differently than all the other places. Usually they have like the same mix of ingredients. It's like a little more paprika here, a little more honey here, a little more... Now, Zax sauce is on like a whole different plane of existence. It has such a unique texture and flavor. And the bowl, the little Zax cup that they give it to you, see how big this is compared to the tender? Chick-fil-A gives you like half that. So they give you plenty of it for dunking, so you can just immerse your chicken fully in that. It has like the perfect cup to depth to chicken tender dip ratio. So I love the Zax snack here. And then it has this, I don't know how they get the crust like this. So I worked at Chick-fil-A for 9 months. And what we would do there is we had this roller. And we would roll the piece of bun or bread or whatever on the roller. And it would get butter on it kind of consistently. And then you'd put it into this machine where it would just toast it and it would spit it out the bottom. I have no clue how the Zaxby's process consistently gets their bread to the point where the crust is enjoyable because it has this nice like buttery sear on it. And in the middle, it has this nice char, but it has this like outline as well. I don't know. It always tastes so good and consistent. The bread tastes great. It's always fresh and it's thick too. It's not like a thin piece of bread. So, I mean, it's just, and then you get a drink with all that and it's $8. Like, who sells all this for $8? You go to a sit-down place and this is like $12.99 before tip, before tax, before tariff, before, I don't know, random upcharge that they put on there, convenience fee, whatever they put on there nowadays. Zaxby's is the perfect fast food place. The Big Zax snack is the ultimate meal of all time, and you cannot convince me otherwise. And on top of all that, when I was in college, the reason why the Big Zax snack was such a lifesaver is because they give you a receipt every single time that you would get a Big Zax snack. And it was, if you filled out this code, you bring it in, and it was buy one, get one free Big Zax snack. Now, the problem with that is you're talking to Lord Business. And I would always buy one, get one free. And I get the receipt, which would have buy one, get one free. So I'd fill that out. I'd hand them the receipt. Buy one, get one free. So my Big Zax snacks were like $4. Well, actually, during this time, they were costed like $7.69, I think it was. And so under $4, well, I guess after tax, about $4. $4 per meal, eating out in college with all this food, all this delicious chicken and soda and toast and Zax sauce. And I mean, I love Zaxby's. I will forever be a sponsor of Zaxby's, or I'll forever tout the name of Zaxby's, because this place has been nothing but good to me. It also helps that I was in Raleigh, like the heart of Raleigh, so the Zaxby's there constantly had kids from NC State, because I went to NC State University for college for 2.5 years before I dropped out. So it helped that there was constantly people coming into that one all day long, all the college kids. So it was always super fresh. But I mean, the managers were super nice. They all knew me by name. Sometimes I'd walk by, they'd be like, "Hey Matthew, how's it going?" I'm like, "Wow, you remembered my name?" And they'd give me like a drink for free. You know, people don't remember all the little details. They remember how you made them feel. And Zaxby's made me feel like a king, with the food, with the service, with the taste, you know, with the price. This place is amazing. So all this goes back to that dono. So thank you, Tank Breaker. I hope you enjoyed my little rant here. That is what I will be indulging myself in with that $10 donation. So thank you for that. Make sure that's still going. All right. Yeah, it seems like the stream's having some issues. Not a rant, a plug. Not even a plug. I'm just super passionate about it. Look, when I get on my tangents, you're not stopping me. Is that intersection still wonked out right here? I think this is the prefix version. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, with all the crazy lines. Like these types of intersections don't have guiding lines. Oh yeah, there's the flyball stadium. So you guys didn't see that last stream? So I invented a sport. We originally had something for episode 4 of Craft My Life, and I was like, I don't like this. So I invented a sport, and it's like a mix of Rocket League, Quidditch, and soccer, I guess, which I guess Rocket League is kind of soccer with cars. So it's 3 people. You fly on elytras. You have these little boost rings that you fly through and you get a boost. Oh, and I guess technically air hockey too, but it's like 3D air hockey. Because all these little things on the ground, there's going to be tons of air jets. So the idea is if you're in elytra and you fly down to the ground, and then you can like use that to boost back up. You know how you like go down and whoosh. But then in this case, you'd also have some momentum going back up. So it generally keeps people around this level, like from here to about here. Those are all giant nets. And then the stands are right here. So you just look down at the game. Actually, we probably need to take off that. Oh, wait, no, that one's just the pillar. That's why you can't see. So, yeah, here's where you would stand to watch the game. Pretty decent view. I mean, right below you is a little tough. It is a very tough arena to have a proper viewership area for, but we worked with what we got. I mean, I'm sure it could have been done better. The other alternative was not to have giant nets, but this is also a school, so I think that safety would be first, because I was like, if the kids are going to be playing in this area, I guess you could make the argument that instead of running into the net, they could run into one of these poles and get a concussion and die. But look, we were responsible. We gave them 90% of the area is net, so it's more than likely that they're not going to die. Yeah. The other option was taking down the net entirely and just having like a stand and Quidditch and just have like a lot of space on either side. I don't know. I think this just feels very unique. Like you look and you see a giant waving net in the distance and like some seats on top, and then there will be some flags that'll be like dotted all around the like boom, 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 boom. But there'll be like little flags with the school there. And this giant staircase. I don't know, something about this design just, it feels cool to me. So I don't really think I'm going to change that much. Of course, here's the school, which was modeled after my actual high school. Oh, 25 Filipino, I don't know what your currency is. Hold on. I think that's Filipino. Filipino pineapples. Is it peso? Is it Philippine peso? Okay, so that's the P with the double lines through it. So that is equal to 45 US cents. Thank you very much for the 25 Philippine pineapples. I'm calling it pineapples now, not pesos. The Chick-fil-A inside. There's not a Chick-fil-A inside. There's just a cafeteria. This serves very bad school food. Oh, you're talking about something in the chat? Hold on, I need to actually keep up with the chat. Head to pull action is 10% possible. Yep. I'm not getting into the pineapple on pizza debate. I think that it's a perfectly fine... I think people, again, haters are going to hate for me not taking a stance. If you like pineapple on pizza, go for it. I've actually never tried it because I want to avoid the controversy. I will not take a stance officially. You guys can duke it out. Like, get into a boxing ring, figure out who's got the better opinion. I don't care. Alright. So, what we need to do here, now that we've got our lines all figured out, is we need to... Can you see? Zaxby's got me in the mood now. It got me so much more energetic. Maybe I just need to start every single stream talking about Zaxby's and fantasizing about Zaxby's. That'll be a lot more entertaining of a stream. Alright, let me go create some doors here. Alex is going to have to kick them open. Oh, whoopsies. H is right next to G, guys. Set origin, shift control alt C. No thanks, I'll just go to object, set origin. Origin to 3D cursor. That way we have the... Actually, what I should have done is I should have gone here. Vertex, select vertex, shift S, selection to cursor, back to here, object, set origin, origin to 3D cursor. There we go. Now we're rotating properly. Did I scale that by accident? I did. That's what happened. Cursor to selected. That's what I wanted to press. I'm an idiot. Alright, then we want to, because then the origin point's way over there. Object, set origin. Third time's a charm, right? Alright, now we've got our proper rotation axis. So you can move that here. Boom, boom. So as you can see in the line, Alex goes, alright!
Alright!
And she's gonna kick the doors open. RZ, boom. Alright! Which one of you has got the hint about Mr. Becker's whereabouts? And it's gonna cut to, like, all these people here. Just looking at her like, huh? What are you doing? For this one, I'll probably shoot this in 55. I think, am I on 55 or am I on 35? Oh, I'm on 30. Okay, I can't back that out anymore. She'll probably just be in the corner of the shot. So, since my angle kind of sucks from right here, I'll probably have to have her kick the door open, boom, alright, and kind of march forward, so that way I can get the shot like this. Now we can see the whole cafeteria. In fact, I'm going to keyframe that. Oof, man, it does get hot in this suit very quickly.
All right! Which one of you folks has the hint about Mr. Becker? The hint of one of you folks.
Boom. Boom. Do like the up close shot. Just boom.
Which one of you? All right! Which one of you?
Just the idea of her just boom, kicks the doors open with just one foot, stomps it down, starts walking forward. All right, which one of you? That'll be Alex. We love Alex. She's full of energy. Another rotation point's not the same. It's okay. This is just a model. Oh my goodness, it's getting very hot. Oh, my little box fan is not pointed at me like it should be. Do I go and turn that on a little higher real quick? I think I do. Give me 1 second. Ah. Oh. Oh, that's so much nicer. I have airflow. Hopefully it doesn't come through the microphone that much. Quick Sully. I think he is in the other room. Either that or he heard me streaming and he's being super quiet. He is not here today, unfortunately. But there will probably be a day where I'm streaming and then I leave and then Sully comes and he's like, "Hello, Squared Media chat." I would allow it. He can be a responsible troll. I will give him permission to hijack the stream someday.
All right.
Turn on auto keyframe. Boom. Oh wait, that's the problem with having the origin point there. Alright, can't be lazy. Gotta set it properly. You guys getting a feel for the animation process now? Seeing how long every tiny little decision takes to make? Takes. Knight E3. We're playing chess now. There is a chess skit too in Craft My Life, by the way. Cursor to selected. And then tab, object, origin to 3D. Cursor. Now we rotate properly. This one had its first keyframe on 5. U on 5. Do it on 12. Maybe all the way out. And then... Did I duplicate? No, I didn't duplicate my camera. A little bit of rebounds.
All right.
Move it to like 29.
All right. All right.
I'll just do 20. And then I'll give him a tiny bit more motion until 30. This is all just block out. So
All right. Which one of you All right.
this got moved for some reason.
All right. All right. All right.
What a shot. What I'll probably end up doing, if I really don't like how little time I'm giving something, I can go into the negative frames.
All right.
But I think in this case, I'm just going to move all this over. Boom. All right. Boom. All right.
All right. Which one of you? All right.
Let's give myself a little bit of extra time on this shot here.
All right. All right.
I'll just have it stop here. Boom.
All right. Which one?
And then this cut can happen much later.
Which one of you fight? Which one of you folks has the hint about Mr. Bait? Which one of you folks has the hint about Mr. Bait? Which one of you folks has the hint about Mr. Becker?
We wouldn't be.
There needs to be a long pause here for a sec. Okay, move over.
We wouldn't be asking if you'd waited for Miss.
All right. Which one of you folks has the hint about Mr. Becker?
We wouldn't be asking if you'd waited for Mrs. Becker to
YouTube
finish,
died?
you know.
Nope, maybe
the
not.
last hint was with another teacher. Maybe he gave all the hints to school staff?
Nope, we're still good.
Of course. And his
It was just my preview that died. What was our top concurrent? We had 35 when I first announced it. We're chilling at like 20 right now. That's good. Very solid. Not a big... I mean, despite the 11 million subscribers, we're actually not a huge community. So that's pretty awesome to get like 20 live. Look, we're already in the top 10% of streamers or something. Actually, is it top 1%? Hold on. How many viewers do the top 5% of streamers get? Top 5% of streamers on Twitch typically have a significant number. That doesn't sound right. Oh, here it is. The top 1% of Twitch streamers only average 26 viewers per stream. This may seem shocking, but since the top echelons of any profession are so greatly skewed, we often perceive the top 1% as an impossible to reach. However, in reality, yeah, whatever. Still, 26. So we are a top 1% streamer in the world right now, guys. Let that sink in. My second work stream. Technically, my first one was had a lot more people interested, but this is still a really good turnout. We're a top 1% streamer. We had 90? 90 last week? I would like to make this a pretty consistent thing. I actually would also like to stream more often than once a week. I was going to do a little bit more last week, but I was having a lot of trouble with my voice. I lost my voice later last week on like Thursday, Friday. Then I got a little sick on Sunday, which caused me to lose it again. So I wanted to stream yesterday too, but I was like, oh, guys, in the director meeting, I was like, all right, everyone, type your updates. And they were like, Matt, don't leave us. My voice is going. My time has come. So that was the situation yesterday. However, we're back to fully functional today. So we're doing pretty good.
has the hint about Mr. Becker. One of you
So now we append from the characters, Rig Master, and then we do the, not the object, the collection. Oh, we got that Skyrim theme coming in. Turn this up a little bit. Do 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 do. And we want Matt. I did not organize. New collection. Very important to stay organized. Characters. Appends. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, I'm gonna turn this back down. Just be chilling in the background. Hi-Fi Rush OST. I'm not familiar with that one. I'm only going to play stuff if I know, like, off the top of my head that it has a no copyright stuff. Might be for a game. That's great. I just want to make sure I preview stuff on my own first before I just randomly listen to stuff on stream. Gotta be responsible, right? Oh, wow. We suddenly shot up in viewers. What the heck? Did YouTube start recommending us? Maybe it thought I was entertaining. I don't know. Anyways, we're going to get these characters into the scene. So, if I press the... Here's a cool trick. My numlock. Never mind, I'm not going to show you guys a cool trick. That's okay. Alright, I got to figure out where it... Yeah, okay, imports to here. So the nice thing about this rig too, is it doesn't have any import issues. So I can just do all these collections at once, and it gets me where I want to go. So I can just slap Alex here. And turn auto keyframe off because I don't want everything flying around everywhere. We have Elena. We have Matthew, or just Matt. His name is not Matthew. My name is Matthew. His name is Matt. We are not the same. Do you guys see this character here? Do you see? Do you see any similarities? I'm asking you all. Who do you think the inspiration for the character Matt was? If it wasn't blatantly obvious. Let me move my mic over a little bit so you guys can see the tie as well. I wonder who we wrote Matt after. Maybe high school Matthew. Whoa, that's crazy. It's almost like I wasn't a strong writer when I was writing Craft My Life, so I didn't know how to write characters other than myself when I was an egotistical prick in high school. Although we do make him a lovable prick, but he's still kind of a prick to a lot of people. But that's okay. He's very entertaining. And he is a good friend to Steve. He does carry him through a lot of classes, a lot of courses. So with Alex, we want to have Foot, Boot, where's that? Boot out, forward. Right, I forgot we have this nice little arrow now. Boom. Hip control. You guys know the Sparta kick? That's what she's gonna do to this door. When you kick, you also probably lean with your body. Actually, I think you lean forward into a kick. I'd have to get up and do it myself. Normalize getting up and doing your character actions yourself in order to figure out what would be a good animation pose. I do that all the time. Except for when I'm on stream, because then it would be very strange for me with my definitely wearing my business pants and business shoes while on stream. I'm definitely not wearing shorts and absolutely nothing on my legs or feet. I should be wearing the matte socks. What am I doing? If I was wearing the matte socks, I could totally do it. Do I need to go get the matte? I'm going to go get the matte socks. I think I have them in my drawer. And then I'm going to act this out for you guys. See if the green screen can pick it up. I need to figure out, because I don't know how a kick looks. I can pull up reference, which that would be the smart thing to do. But the more entertaining thing to do, I think, would be to actually go and do it myself. And also rep the matte socks, which you can buy right now on squaredmedia.org. No, what is it? Is it squaredmedia.shop? What's the Squared Media store? Squared... I need to get pleasebuyMymerch.com set, or gobuyMymerch.com, something. I think it's pleasebuyMymerch.com that I own. I need to get that hooked up. Alright, store. I'll plug it. Okay, shop.squaredmedia.org. So the cool product about this one is the matte socks. I'm going to go show you guys what those look like. If I can find them. Give me like 1 minute. I found them. Do you see? I'm putting them on. Alright, so we're going to act out this kick. Oh yeah, here's the matte socks, by the way. Very comfy. Definitely would recommend the buy. $20. Best $20 you'll have ever spent. Also buys me 2 Zaxby's Big Zax snacks, so would really appreciate it. Let's go to Blender again. So this kick here, Alex needs to have her out. Oh, green screen's cutting it off. Boom! So I'm not that flexible, but I'm noticing that when I go to pick a door, I'm leaning back. I thought she would lean forward. That was the main thing that I was looking for. So And see, that's already looking more natural. Just by figuring out that little detail. Alright. Wow, these socks are really comfy, guys. Definitely a good addition. Alright. So, shenanigans over. This one here, this little top bone here, you're wondering, like, why doesn't that rotate? That's because this one only rotates. So rather than having to worry about the rotation and the location controls on this part of the arm, we found it easier, because sometimes when you just want to move the arm up or down a little bit, excuse me, just having a separate bone is a lot more helpful in not getting confused on what keyframes are what. So, like, say if I'm doing stuff like this, moving the arm around, boom, 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 boom.
Has the hint about Mr.
So she's doing all this stuff with her arm. But if I were to have additional keyframes, so normally like this keyframe and this keyframe would be where I would put the height. I'd have to go in here, look at the arm, and be like, oh, which one of these deal with height? And then I'd have to go into my animation, and then I'd have to look at all these curves. I have to go into the armature action, and I'd have to check where there's location rather than rotation. I'd have to isolate those three. Then I have to look at those curves and work on it that way. Or I can simply have a, let me get rid of that keyframe. I can also simply have two different parts, where in this case I'm just dealing with the rotation, boom, and then this part here, I needed to shrug, I just hit it. I can set a keyframe, move forward, make a shrug, boom, 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 and then we'll shrug, while she's also moving her arm.
You folks has the hint about Mr.
Okay, we're gonna ignore that crazy spaz out.
Has the hint about Mr. Has the hint about Mr. Becker.
So I can see, oh, these are all my location keyframes, and these are all my rotation keyframes. So just a little quality of life stuff that we have a lot of built into the rig. She's also probably frowning here. Eyes probably wide open. These are probably like that. Turn off auto keyframe for a bit. Good enough. I want this to be nice and close. That's probably a good spot. That's probably too much movement. Let's do that. Little trick for reducing movement but keeping the same path is to go somewhere along that path, like halfway along, set a keyframe, and all you're doing is covering this distance. But then you take that keyframe and you drag it back to the start. So you're only covering half the distance, but you're still on the same motion that you were before. Just a little handy thing that I picked up just working on stuff. I'm extremely dusty. Why am I extremely dusty? Just now checking the chat. I need an explanation for this. Can't just go throwing shade without backing it up. I'm very clean, pristine. Do not have any dust. Oh, you have the matte socks. Can you buy the matte socks? You can buy the matte socks on shop.squaremedia.org for $20. You can become Lord Business yourself. Just like me. So, if you look up to your idol, Matt Squared, and you want to be just like him, you buy the socks. With him tiled all over them. And I'm not kidding when I say they're actually really comfy. This is genuinely the best product that I have that I've designed. So, thanks to Fourth Wall for having really good quality socks. But these are actually my favorite pair of socks, unironically. Alright. Hello, Kira. Someone know what rig this is? I do! It's the Squared Media version 1.0 rig. And it's something that, well, technically 1.3, I think, but when we release it, we'll just go back to calling it 1.0. And this will be released alongside this pilot. I will also be making a tutorial on how to use this rig, so you guys can get familiar with it and use it for your own stuff. It's simplified in some ways, more advanced in others from our previous rig. As you can see, there's all kinds of fancy settings that are all accessible right here, rather than in the properties menu, typically over here. Excuse me, it must be because we have a very talented rigger in Finn, and he designed all this himself, just with some input from me and a couple other of the directors. Yeah, I'll be releasing that soon. Oh, you use the mat socks to dust. I mean, if I'm helping your house get cleaner, I guess I'm not offended. Oh, okay, I read that out of order. I didn't see that I use the mat socks to dust and then that. Okay, that makes sense. Is it hard for me to animate this scene? I haven't started animating yet. I'm still doing block out. For animation, it's very, very hard. I send the scene off to an animator, and I say, here's like $300 to animate the scene. So I'm doing a lot of work, putting in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into the animation part now. It's, if I were actually animating it, I think I'm of the opinion that since I know how to animate, it's not hard, it's just time consuming, because there's a lot of decisions that you're making with every movement. And the more considerate you are, the more time it takes, rather than just doing something really fast to slop it together. Too pale for the green screen. I know, it's a problem. What is the animation? This is Craft My Life, as shown in the title. Can we get the rig? Okay, I already talked about that a little bit. Can we steal Matt's title of Lord Business? You can. If you have the socks. That's the only time that you have the right. Am I using Blender 4.3? I am on 4.4. I think it should say so right here. You can always spy on someone's Blender version right at the top of their screen, if they're sharing their full display. Delegation is hard. I agree. Yeah, so whenever you're handing stuff off to people, they still have to, you have to communicate your vision well, and you also have to trust them to execute at a level that you're happy with. So there's maybe like 5 or 6 animators on our team that I would probably be first picking for Craft My Life stuff. There's varying levels of skill, and that's okay. I mean, different people have been working on stuff for different amounts of years, and that makes a big difference. And some people have been more diligent than others. So you get someone like Zillion, who started out as an animator, and he's just been honing his skills, and he's making the coolest stuff next to Michael and Omeletto on the channel right now. And he started way behind everyone, but he's just been doing it for so long that everything has gotten a lot more clean. Then you have people like myself, who spend a lot more time in the layout, so obviously I'm going to be worse at animation, and that's why I hand it off to people who can do it better than me, because my time's better spent setting up the vision and preparing that, and then handing it off to people so I can keep working on the vision. So it's just all about priority order, right? I'm seeing these random dips in viewership. I wonder if that's because of internet. I don't know. Whatever. Just enjoy the Skyrim music. And chill. Alright. Cool. I will continue with work and stop yapping.
All right! All right! All right! All right!
Why is that keyframe here? We'll probably want her foot to stay out for just a little bit and then come down. Actually, we can just Alt-G since it's IK. Alt-R, lean forward. Start having her walk.
Folks has the hint of... Right. Which one of you folks has... Right. Which one of you folks... Alright! Which one of you...
That's gonna be fun. Kick out, stomp down. Which one of you folks? Or she's like walking in all demanding. Probably hands on her hips. You can communicate that as well. Hands on her hips.
Which one of you folks has...
She can probably keep walking for longer. We can do a cool thing here where she walks forward more and the camera cuts as she's getting out of frame. Boom. DKK, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong coconuts. No, that starts with the C. Donkey Kong. What starts with the K that I can call this currency? Krispy Kreme? No. What starts with a K? What food starts with a K? I keep thinking of C words like carrot, coffee. I am using blocking. I'm just doing like an even more base block out than that right now. Donkey Kong. I need a food. I need a food because we have Filipino pineapples instead of Philippine pesos. I need Donkey Kong K. What's K? What's a food that starts with K? Kale. Donkey Kong kale. It's got to be sweet though, otherwise it's not fun. Okay. What fruit starts with K? We have... Oh my goodness, I don't know any of these. Kinkoji, Ushinu, Kino... Oh, kiwi! Kiwis! How did I forget about kiwis? Alright, Donkey Kong kiwis. Thank you for the 50 Donkey Kong kiwis. Alright. How much is 50 Donkey Kong kiwis in United States dollars? 50 DKK to USD. It's like $7. That's like $8. Dude, I'm getting rich. You guys are making me rich. I can buy 2 Big Zack Snacks now. For those of you who weren't here when I explained what a Big Zack Snack is, it's this. It's my favorite food from eating out. DK Kiwis. Thank you for the 50 DK Kiwis. Alright, we definitely want this shot to be... I almost wish I had more space. What I can do here is I can cheat a little bit, and I can show you guys why. So, when you need to cheat... Actually, I might need to cheat. I could technically just bust out this back wall and do... and just pull the camera back further. In fact, this design of the wall... The actual set itself... but I can't do that because there's doors here leading to this. Actually, I can because there's more doors. Mordor. Land of Mordor. This hallway has more doors than I can count. Now we can cut out this area here. Maybe that's a build change that I make. I don't know. Or I could just suck it up and work with what I've got. So, the more likely thing is suck it up and work with what I've got because that just takes more time and I don't want to re-import everything. So, what I can do instead is if I need to, I can punch out this wall. Alternatively, I can do the thing that I did last time in stream and I can, between cuts, since no one notices, I can snap her much more forward. So as she's walking forward, you have no idea that she teleported there. Problem is, this is a bad shot, so that's not going to work. Okay, maybe you would tell a little bit. Gosh, this is a big cafeteria. Why does she also feel shorter than she's supposed to? Maybe just because she's leaned over so much? Alex is just a very short character, so it could be that. It's also because her torso is tilted a little bit. And this part is too. Alright, that's a little better. I'll clean up all these keyframes. Oh, goodness, that's fast. That's aggressive.
Which one of you
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do the cheat on this one. I think I'm just going to keep it how it was. Move her up, move her there, maybe move her over. That's actually a good shot. It's not too bad. Oop. I do not want your keyframes on my... There we go.
one of you folks has the
And she doesn't need to go that far up. I can set this to linear, and then I can set this to over here. Oh, another viewership spike. Yes! We're at 40! 40 organic viewers, guys. Let's go. Alright.
Alright! Which one of you folks has the hint about Mr. Becker?
Now we need to get some more rigs in here. We're going to import rig. And we're going to make sure we're staying organized. See? That's why we make sure we're organized before we import. Because otherwise we'll import to the wrong place. Import rig. There we go. That's what we like to see. Side character 1. We import another rig. Side character 2. Then we do... There probably shouldn't be too many people. Maybe we have the original 3 that were in the classroom before, just chilling in the cafeteria. Just doing absolutely nothing. Or maybe we just have kids minding their own business. And then, of course, we also need Mr. Drake. Drake Goldstein. Who is the very depressed cafeteria worker that we were working with earlier in the day.
And there's only one person.
What can I get for you?
Good old Drake. What can I get for you? Alright. Let's get all these guys up to the actual spot where they're supposed to be. Boom. Ignore that they're all pink. For those of you who aren't familiar with 3D stuff, whenever stuff doesn't have a texture on it, it appears completely pink in your viewport. Or whenever it can't locate the texture that it originally had. So that's the default for that. Not worried about that. As soon as we put a texture on it, then we'll be fine. I did not turn off auto keyframe. So I gotta make sure to delete all those. Boom, boom, boom. Fortunately, that seems to have not actually set keyframes on most of those. So we should be fine. How do you guys like the theater? This is really fancy for a high school theater. I mean, you got rows of seating. You have walls that completely block your face. I think we edited this. I think this is a slightly older version of the file here. But once we take down these random walls, I think it'll be a lot better. But you have like a whole stage and everything. Designed by theater kids. For their ideal stage. We even have the wood paneling on top for acoustics. And we have this going down, so... There's a couple other things that if I was trying to be really accurate to life, I could. At the So I went to a high school that was called Central Academy of Technology and Arts, and the arts part stood, or I guess, yeah, stood for the fact that we had a really big theater performing arts academy. And they had a lot of fancy goodies in the theater, including these big old, like, acoustic panels, giant slabs of oak wood on the ceilings. And I took a class called Tech Theater, which I like to call woodworking. It was a little more than woodworking because you're doing like the technical side of theater. A lot of it's just building sets, building stages for people. But I'd go in and I'd ask my tech theater director, who had, I think, 25 years experience in the industry. I'm like, what are those giant wooden things? He's like, do you like being able to hear the performers? I'm like, yeah. He's like, that helps with, and he explained to me in some really complicated fashion that basically when you're talking right here, they have ways designed, like with the ceilings and the walls, to kind of tunnel the sound right down the middle of the audience to keep it from fizzling out and try to like recycle the sound. I don't know how all that works. There's a whole field called sound engineering that you can go into and you can study, and it's fascinating to me. But that just wasn't my cup of tea. But it was really, really cool to learn about. So, fun fact of the day. I think, yeah, we shrunk this as well. This is definitely an older version of the school, but it's okay because we didn't make any changes. We made changes to this hallway here, but this entire scene takes place basically right here, so I don't think we need to change that. And if we do, I can just import just this little section behind them. So all this should be fine. See, the problem with work streaming, and here's the thing, right, is as soon as I go on my rants, I got on my second monitor, I'm watching everything. So I've got my overlay set up, I got all this stuff. Not checking chat, because if I check chat, I'd be getting super distracted. But I see, as I start yapping, as I start ranting about the most random stuff, the viewership trend goes like this. And as soon as I lock in and get working, it goes like this. So work streaming is actually, I need to stop looking at the graphs so much, because I have a very analytical mind. And I like doing the things that make number go up, right? That's why I like those tycoon games. I'd get addicted to those like grow your business type mobile games, because I like seeing number go up. So you guys should stick around when I'm getting work done, because that'll encourage me to get more work done instead of yapping all the time. It is fun, though. I do like telling life stories. I have seen and done a lot of things. Skin selector. Okay. Pull this over here. What skin should I use? I'm gonna look for no eyes. Or no face. Sorry, that's what we use. No face. Since Tank gave me $10, I'm going to use a bunch of tank breakers. These are going to be all the ads for now. All the extras. See how easy it is to change a skin with this one? Now having to go to the material tab and finding all this other stuff and going here and going into the materials, making sure you have the right one selected, going down to here, undo the file path. It's just, you click on it, click the file, select skin, boom, it's done. So this one's going to be Drake. So Drake lives over here by the cash register, I think. Do we have a cash register? Is this where... I think this is where we're supposed to have a cash register. In my head, I always imagined that this right here was some kind of a computer. I guess not, but I'm going to make it one. I'll model a little computer there. Put it there for him to be ringing the kids out. I think that makes the most sense. Because you have the kid, you come in this way, you start the line here, wraps around this way. This is the industrial engineering coming in. And you go around this way, you follow the concrete, you go along your selection of food, and there's enough space here to where you can walk out past him. Actually, technically, it would make more sense if it was like here or right here, and he was standing on the other side, but this is still just fine. That's kind of awkward, though. Like you're walking behind him, and you could steal. But we're going to count on these kids being good stewards of not stealing. Good stewards of their money and their morals and paying for all their food. Also, I don't care to change the design at this point, because at some point you just have to leave it. You can't be a perfectionist with everything, so as much as you can analyze and say, oh, I could have done this better. Well, you know what? You have something done, you need to get more done if you ever want the production to come out, so just keep going. Keep moving forward. You can go back and make those changes later. That's a big thing. That's going to be like, when I start making tutorials for you guys on how to be a director and how to finish a project, that's the number one, like the thing that I see that shuts down the most projects. It's people obsess over details that they shouldn't be. And you just gotta keep going. You gotta keep producing. You gotta keep making stuff. Even if it sucks, even if you think it sucks. Half the stuff I do, I think it sucks. And then, but the important thing is that I'm pushing forward. And once I get to a point where I'm happy with the completed sucky state, then I can go back and refine it. But at least I have the completed thing to work off of, right? So that's what people are looking for. That's what separates the winners from the losers in this field, is people who can just put away their perfectionism. I know it's very hard. A lot of us are perfectionists. That's why we're into art and cool digital stuff. But that's just how you gotta approach it. Alright, let me see what this is gonna look like. We can have one kid. Needs to feel pretty sparse. Have one kid working here. One kid working there. Maybe a kid facing this way. Cool. Alright, which one of you has the hint about Mr. Becker's whereabouts? Crickets. Maybe have him back a little further. Fill out the space a little better. We can probably put him in a seat where he's facing forward so we get some skin recognition. That's the other thing too. Whenever I'm planning Patreon appearances, I could have these people all facing backwards. That would not be very good for the people who want to see themselves in the animation. You know, like I want them to actually be able to see their skins and whatnot. So as you plan, you gotta think about that stuff. I will probably move... Actually, I'll probably move him over here somewhere. Maybe move this guy, like, over here. Maybe move... Maybe we have one that's a little bit closer. It can't obstruct the view of the guy in the back, though. Yeah, maybe, like, here. So if we go there, we go one here. Oftentimes, kids at these, and this is modeled after my actual cafeteria too. We did have this really cool, like, glass thing. If I go into material mode, hopefully it doesn't die. We had this cool outside area as well that we could go out to. I did this all based off memory, and it's been 5 years since I've been to high school, but I do remember that there were doors that you could go out, and I think there was seating outside. So I really like that about my cafeteria, and there's also these very distinct blue pillars that were just holding everything up. So made sure to include those too. Someday if I make CATA super famous, Central Academy of Technology and Arts, CATA, CATA, that's what we called it. But if I make CATA super famous and they start doing summer tours of the school, you guys can go see it then. I don't know. I don't think Craft My Life is going to be that nuclear, but we'll see. We'll see if a lot of people enjoy it. There's not a lot of content coming out that's in between that age of like 8 and 18 that's rated PG, that is family friendly and just wholesome content. We like wholesome content. A little bit of quirkiness here and there for sure. All these characters definitely have their gimmicks, but it's whatever.
We wouldn't be
It's about... All right! Which one of you... All right!
She shouldn't come down that fast. Now I'm doing what I like to call preliminary blockout.
All right! All right! Which Which one of you folks has the hint about Mr. Becker?
We would.
All right! Which one of you folks has the hint about Mr. Becker?
It's just dead silence. They all don't pay any attention to her whatsoever. I think I can up the focal length here a little bit now. Maybe I go from like 30 to like 45.
We wouldn't be asking if you'd waited for.
I do want to keep her on the left side. I could, well, technically I could do something more like this. It probably would be good to go back to this kind of a shot. Everyone just kind of files in behind her. Maybe look up a little bit as she's walking off.
Which one of you folks has the hint about Mr. Becker?
Needs more time.
We wouldn't be asking.
Everyone else comes in.
We wouldn't be asking if you'd waited for Mrs. Becker to finish, you know.
The last hint was with another.
Or maybe it's a shot like this, where she's just kind of off to the side doing her thing. And then everyone else is just kind of standing here. I actually do like that. Let me bring it down a tiny bit more. A lot of these have been very high up shots. We don't need that much space. That's the thing I've noticed about my directing, is that I will do two things for some reason, pretty consistently. It's I will shoot too high, and I will shoot too close. So one thing I've been trying to do is like back up my shots a little bit. Like even this one probably is a little bit too close. If you look at a lot of TV shows, the character actually only takes up about that much space on the screen half the time. I typically like to shoot things like pretty close, and they end up taking up a lot of the screen. So when I go back and I do my actual block out, what I like to do, what you guys are seeing me doing right now, is kind of my previs, where I'm just imagining the pacing, imagining how things flow together, very, very basic, major body positions. And this is just getting a sense for the timing of the animation and how I want it to flow. Then I go back and I actually do the key poses. And that's when I'm starting to give the animators information on, okay, what do I want this character to be doing? What do I want them to be expressing? What's their body language going to be like? And once I get that done, that's when I then send it off to the animators to be animated, and that's when I give them a bunch of feedback. But I was talking with one of our guys a couple months ago. His name's Judo, and he basically told me that, where the more precise I want my animation to look and the more coherent, the more keyframes I have to give my animators. Because that's all the major information that we're communicating is through, like, what body pose do I want this character to be doing here. I can say, make this character really mad, and then that can be like a simmering mad, that can be like a full-bodied, like, mad. Mad can mean a lot of different things. So it's really up to the animator's interpretation. But if I give them a pose and I say, make this character mad, then they get a lot better idea of what I mean by that. So that's what I do on my second pass before I send it off. But all this right now is just the pacing layout, because I think pacing is more important than anything else to get right first. It's all about levels of detail.
Right. Which one of All right. Which one of you folks has the hint about Mr. Becker?
Let this sit for a second.
We wouldn't be asking if you'd waited for Mrs. Becker to finish, you know.
The last hint was with another teacher. Maybe he gave all the hints to school staff?
Of course! An astute observation, my dear Elena.
And there's only one person on staff here in the cafeteria.
What can I get?
I can probably get away with all of this actually being here, because I don't need to overcomplicate things. I don't need to add in more camera shots that aren't necessary. If I want to do that later, I can. But all this is just a dialogue between the four of them. And the focus is on the four of them having this conversation, figuring this out. So I'm just going to have 450 frames where it's a still shot. Obviously, the camera will be like looking this way, looking that way a little bit. Maybe cut in close to a character, cut in that way a little bit once I get through the actual block out. But as far as the pacing goes, that's pretty much all I need. So then we get this shot. Can probably frame it like here. That's a pretty cool shot, framed with the side of the kitchen. All them walking
What
up.
can I get?
I can either do this side or I can do this side. I don't know. Just pick a side. That side just shows wall. That side has a more interesting background. So I will go with this side.
What can I?
How long have I been streaming for? Let's see. It says 1 hour, but 1 hour ago is my Zaxby's rant. I think it cut off. I can just check my announcement. We've been here for about an hour and 40 minutes, so maybe like 20 more minutes of stream. That way I'm just not dying of heat in this suit. It's actually not doing as bad. Now that I have my box fan blowing on me, it's made things a lot more manageable than last time. Last time by now I was dripping in sweat, but this is pretty reasonable. Now, let me check the chat for a little bit. Derp's in Season 1. Derp will be in Craft My Life Season 1. He will only be in one episode, though. Actually, technically, he might be like a cameo background appearance in a lot of the other ones. But as far as the main character goes, he'll only be one in Episode 4. That's why Drake is depressed. Kids are stealing from the cafeteria behind his back. So his paycheck gets cut every single time a child steals. So that's why he's going to try to steal some money back from these children. Did you manually make the world in Blender? Nope. We have a very talented build team that we build with on our build server. Then I just import this from Minecraft into Blender using a program called JMC to OBJ. JMC with a number 2, OBJ. And then I just put that OBJ of the Minecraft world into Blender. Very, very easy. Happened to the old Patreons. They just stopped pledging. They had other things that took their interest in life. And that's perfectly fine. It's the best to animate legs while you move the whole body, since you're not going to use IK torso to more form. So for walking, I'm going to be doing something called working with the non-linear animation editor, where I make a walking loop of someone just standing in place, and then I use that non-linear animation editor to then blend their pose, their resting pose, into that walk cycle, and then ease out of it. Excuse me. And that's probably some more intermediate level stuff, I would say. Probably bordering on advanced, but not like super duper advanced. That's some intermediate level stuff that I'll be using for this, and I'll definitely be teaching on it in a little bit. In a little bit, I mean like whenever I release my tutorials, which will be whenever this pilot comes out, which could be fall or winter, who knows. So, not setting any expectations, but someday it will come out and I'll teach you guys. Gotta go now. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for showing up. It's a pleasure having you guys around. I'm not ending the stream yet. I'm just saying goodbye to Euler Identity Productions. Cool. All right, we're through the chat. I can get back to work. I'm gonna eat a Cheez-It first. Delicious. How many of you guys like Cheez-Its? Raise your hand. Hello, Subcio YT2. How's it going? Suspicious. Sorry, I just misread your name. Alright. What do I want to do here next?
What can I get for you?
This one probably needs to be up closer. What can I get for you?
What can I get for you?
The reason being, I want to show off his facial expressions. It can be like this, where we see them against the side of the shot.
Oh!
You.
Then we can do the same thing here. TV shows use this all the time, where you just have a character bordering the side of your shot. Very cheap and easy framing trick.
Oh, can I get a bagel with cream cheese?
What, Alex? We're looking for Mr. Becker. Do you have any idea where he might be?
Can I interest any of you?
Idea where he might be?
This is another one where he needs to pause.
Where he might be?
Can I interest any of you in a...
Idea where he might be? Idea where he might be?
This one's gonna be really fun. I'm gonna cut to him. I'm gonna cut back. And then they're all gonna look really uncomfortable. And then I'm gonna cut back. I just came up with this right now. I think that'd be really fun. And then he goes,
Can I interest any of you?
cut to him, dead silent. Cut back to them, dead silent, awkward.
Can I interest...
And then cut back to him.
Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning?
Can I interest? And he just completely ignores the question, stares at them blankly. He's like, this is not my job. He's like going back to NPC mode.
Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning?
Actually,
Can I interest any of you in a coffee this morning?
And then, actually, matter of fact, you can.
actually, as a matter of fact, you could. Don't worry, guys. This one's on me. Guys, this one's... Actually, as a matter of fact, you could. Don't worry, guys. This one's on me.
One coffee.
Don't worry, guys. This one's on me.
I'll do a side shot. Change it up.
Actually, as a matter of fact, you could. This one's on me.
So he'll be here. Drake will be there.
One.
More like that. So then Matt can be all like leaning on the side. A big thing about Matt's character is he's gonna lean on everything. He's gonna put his shoulder on the block. He's gonna be all like smirking and just total overconfidence. On bordering being a prick, because he is a prick. Okay, not like a super duper prick, but he is socially unaware. I guess that's the nicest way of
One
putting it.
coffee and one bagel coming right up. That'll be 5 emeralds. 5 coming right up. One
This one's on me.
coffee and one bagel coming right up. One bagel coming right up. And one bagel. One coffee.
I think for this one,
Guys, this one's on me.
One coffee.
I can cut to over here.
And one bagel coming right up. That'll be fine. That'll be 5 emeralds. Right up.
He's gonna receive it from here.
That'll be 5 emeralds.
I'll walk back over.
That'll be 5 emeralds.
How about
And we'll go back to our debate.
I give you 6 emeralds and you give
Actually, it'll probably be a close-up of Matt here.
How about I give you 6
It'll
emeralds
be like here.
and you give us the hint about Mr. Becker's whereabouts?
10.
Mr. Becker's whereabouts.
And we'll cut over to here. He'll cross his arms. Make sure I'm setting keyframes.
10.
Then we go back to Matt.
Oh, come on. Come on. I'm trying to help you
And then he'll lean again.
on. I'm trying to help you out here. I'm trying to help you out.
So he'll be standing up. And they'll go back to leaning.
I know Mr. Becker didn't offer you anything to help with his activity this morning. You're already getting a bonus. Here, I'll tell you what. I'll give you... Here,
I'll have him stand up.
here, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'll give you 7, but that's as far as I'll go. We can shake and make it happen.
Extends his hand.
How about 8?
7.
How about 8?
7.
I know you guys are not seeing much right now because I'm not actually putting the characters in. I'm just visualizing all of this in my head, putting where I want the camera to be roughly, then I'm going to move the characters in for the block out, and then I'd just layer after layer after layer. It's some water. Delicious. Stay hydrated. Is there other characters, like old ones, the animators, or directors that will appear as a cameo? So I'll be prioritizing all the Patreons for appearances in Craft My Life, just to make sure that, you know, the people that are paying us money to be able to actually make animations are getting represented, because I think that's the nice thing to do, you know, and that's also what their perks are. So I want to make sure that they're getting the most love first. Excuse me. But I could. There'd be probably some like really background characters that would just appear, say if we're walking out to the flyball court and there's some people playing soccer or something, I'd probably slap their skins there as we're walking past here, heading up to here. So, who knows? Also, by the way, this is like... Let me unclip everything. This right here is like 1/9 of the entire Craft My Life world. We're missing a giant neighborhood here, a giant water park here, giant business district here, a giant farm here, a church here, a giant park here with a little climbable mountain, a phantom farm even further in the back, deep woods even further back. Then there's going to be a haunted house on a mountaintop all the way over here. Over here is still in development, but this is just going to be some more hills and plains and stuff. And everywhere has a bunch of trees. So, yeah, this is about 1/9 of the Craft My Life set. This is Probably the bottom middle square. So there's like one over here, boom, 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 boom. It's a really big set. It's a lot of stuff.
Eight.
7. Come on. 7. Come on. We get the hint, and you get a 40% tip. Dude, it's a win-win. The hint, and you get a 40% tip. Dude, it's a win-win.
All right. Deal. He's in the one place no student ever wants to be.
Oh, come on!
Student ever wants to be.
Oh, come on! That's not even a riddle.
Maybe.
Oh, we're getting the Skyrim theme again. Gotta turn that up. Do 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 do. Okay, that's not the Skyrim theme. I know. It's just the one that's super recognizable that everyone uses in the shorts and stuff. It's really, really pretty. Alright, turn that back down. We're getting close to the end of our stream here. I'm definitely holding up a lot better than last week. Probably about another 10-15 minutes to go. Hanging out with you guys, my lovely audience. The lovely chat.
Oh, come on! That's not even a riddle.
Maybe not. But I have two guesses. Either detention or...
The principal's office.
But what if he...
Be.
In this case, I'll probably actually entirely cut him out because his part's done.
Oh, come on!
Maybe not.
That's not even a riddle.
Maybe not. But I have two guesses. Either detention...
Oh, come
Ever wants to be.
Oh, come on! That's not even a riddle.
Maybe not. But I have two guesses. Either detention or...
The principal's office.
But what if he's not in the principal's office?
Then we'll look somewhere else. Come on!
Okay, we're not there. Actually, no, I think that is in this scene. I think I will, continuity-wise, right? Because he comes right back to the cafeteria. All of you, back to class. Oh, it's frozen. Yeah, okay, so I will just do all of that in this one scene.
All of you, back to class!
There we go. Yep. Because I had Mr. Becker come to the cafeteria anyways, and repeat that shot of Alex kicking down the doors, except in this case he's going to violently open them with his hands. All of you, back to class! So, that's how we're going to end it. Nice. Alright.
detention or...
Come on! That's not even a riddle.
We'll do that. Then we'll do another cut to, like, here. Switch it up.
Maybe not. But I have two guesses. Either detention or...
The principal's office.
But what if he's not in the principal's office?
Then we'll look somewhere else. Come on!
We cut to the principal's office.
Huzzah!
This is gonna have some wordless build-up. So they're gonna be all like tense, looking at it, all unsure. And then Alex is gonna step up to it, and the doors are gonna shake. There's gonna be like a shadowy figure. You're gonna step back, they'll all be scared. And then, as the camera's panning in,
Huzzah!
Mr. Becker breaks out. Poof, huzzah! Lights everywhere.
You've solved my riddle.
Somewhere.
Ah, yes! I knew knew it!
Congratulations, you four. No homework for you tonight.
But what are we being graded on today, then?
Completion, of course. You either found me and got 100, or didn't and got a 0.
That's pretty extreme.
I don't think so. I thought I'd keep it simple and fun for your first assignment back after winter break. I even showed up early to get it all set up. So, where are your classmates? Not far behind?
Alright!
Wait, why is it cut off now? Because it got extended more.
Not far behind, I assume. All of you, back to class!
Okay. So we generally have the camera set up for 3000 frames. A lot of it wasn't very complicated. A lot of it was just leaving it in one spot, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But sometimes that's all directing needs to be, right? If you look at TV shows, I mean, they have 5-6 minute scenes that all it is back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. We don't need to do anything crazy unless we're doing a really high... Oh, my stream disconnected. Oh, right in the middle of my rant. Oh well. All right. Looks like we're back now. You guys able to hear me? Okay, stream's back. Cool. I did see that just start happening, where it's like, we lost connection. Not much I can do about that, unfortunately. Internet here is a little bit inconsistent, but it's good enough to mostly stay consistent. Okay, cool. Alright, I can go on my rant now. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So in making a good production, you think back to any of the shows that you liked as a kid, right? And hardly any of them were shot very complex. Even these really like high budget shows that do lots of fancy stuff, 90% of their shots are actually just sitting there looking at a character talking. And when you're going to make a show and you want a lot of people to like it, you want it to be good, as you're making it, and since this is such a long process, you're like, I need to put all this time into every single shot, making sure it looks really pretty. You look at stuff like Arcane, even as a modern example, you're like, wow, all their shots look really, really pretty. And you're in the software and you're spending all this time on composition, figuring stuff out, like, how can I make this the most interesting shot possible? And the thing is, oftentimes you don't need to, actually. You just need to have the character in focus, and you just need to get it done. And that goes back to what I was saying before. You have to break those perfectionist habits in order to get a production done, because otherwise you're just never going to get it done. So, and that's what I'm trying to remember here with this scene, is just progress over perfection, right? Just get it done, get it out the door, and then if I want to go back once I've gotten all this done, then I can go back and make all the shots perfect. But for now, if it's a bunch of characters talking for 15 seconds and all I need is one still shot of all them talking to each other, that's all I need to do. You know, don't overcomplicate stuff. So it's probably one of the biggest advices that I have for people who want to be directors or are watching this for informational stuff, or if you're just interested in animation in general and how a director thinks. You can look at a show and you can see that most of it is very, very, very plainly shot, but what you remember is how it made you feel, right? I was talking about this with Zaxby's. You don't remember the individual details, you remember how it made you feel, and then from there, it's those little details that you then begin to recall. But if it didn't make you feel good, then, you know, details don't really matter. So with this, you put all those energy into those like super high action, like 2 to 3 minute shots, but you don't care that the rest of the show is 20 minutes of just still shots on characters, because it's telling the story, you're seeing them talk, it's all it needs to do, and then it pushes the scale up to 11 whenever something cool happens, and that's all it needs to be. So that's the mentality I'm trying to remember here as I'm laying all this out. Doesn't need to be anything crazy. Oh, for this here?
Break. I even showed up early. So, where are your classmates?
Where are your classmates?
Not far behind, I assume. Go
to here. Boom. Cut back to here.
All of you.
And then we get the same shot that Alex had. Back to class.
Back to class!
Actually, I think we should see his expression for this.
All of you,
We can still do the cut to the wide.
back to
But this wide needs to be looking at him.
Back to class!
And then them all scurrying past him. And him off to the side. Probably like right here, as all of them are running past. Okay, cool. So that's our scene. And I think that's probably a good place to stop. We're right at about the 2-hour mark now. And yeah, thank you all for coming out. I'm going to continue to work on this afterwards, obviously, but if my voice isn't completely giving out on me later this week, I'll definitely stream again. I've been having a lot of fun just talking with you guys, getting on stream, sharing stories, whatnot. So I definitely want to do this more often. If not later this week, definitely next Monday or Tuesday, I'll make sure to come out. And yeah,